like, I used to love John Walsh, loved him with, you know, back in the day, it was America's Most Wanted. Everybody, I mean, like America's Most Wanted is what like YouTube is today with the true crime, you know, well, you know, the new age way of getting information out there. You know, this America's Most Wanted was really something that we never had before. It was a way that, you know, people could see the dangerous criminals and help solve cases, right? This was the beginning of this whole true crime genre.
And then I would go to the energy session, and my therapist was Noah Rothschild. So then I remember, you know, we're sitting there, he had us drop it, you know, had me drop in, he sits across from me, he has me drop into spirit, and he literally, in spirit eye, you know, literally turned into a lioness in front of my eyes. His face started getting like the face of nothingness, and then it turns into this lioness, if you will. And we drop out of the session. I said, he's like, well, what? I was like, this is not a rehab. This is an X-Men Institute. Like, I was literally walking around joking that this was an X-Men Institute. And then, you know, for years, I mean, that's really what got me into that Luciferian doctrine.
They love child sacrifice, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can go all the way back to your brother Adam. Do you think that was a sacrifice, or was that a misdirection? What are your thoughts on that?
I wasn't there,
right,
so I don't know the truth. But I will say that I believe strongly that it was either a sacrifice or due to previous current nefarious dealings that my dad was involved in. So, you know, I don't want to make claims on a sacrifice that I don't know, but
Sure.
We find the head in Vero Beach, only a head. Which is actually very ironic because my father was all over this Gabby Petito story that just came out and just happened to happen while my whole situation's going on. And her father happened.
So I liked him. I grew up watching him. I'm now not there anymore with him because I'm a little bit older, and I see what's going on with his daughter. I see what's going on with his daughter. I see what he's done. I see him.
And her father happened to move to Vero Beach the month that they did all of this, started all of this with me.
Wow. Yeah, I said that was all just misdirection. And they like to play these games.
It was mirroring Adam's case, Michael. Wow. Tito thing, a lot of coroner stuff. There's always the coroner seems to be this interesting player in these cases. And here we have the coroner here in Vero getting the head. He sends it down. My father and him have a meeting after the Good Morning America stuff and after it was announced that he had been found. So did they actually have a meeting after it had been announced and said, maybe this wasn't, but we've already put it out there, so we're going to keep going with this? You know, Adam was missing 2 front teeth.
No man that does what he did to his daughter will ever get the respect of Bullhorn Betty, ever in a million years. So shame on you, John Walsh, for that. And my voice will be heard on this. And this is in my state.
You know, Adam was missing 2 front teeth. The head that was found had a partial tooth out of the gum, which we ask coroners, and postpartum, your teeth don't grow out of the gums, you know, after your head's chopped off, you know?
Yes. Because maybe Adam never died. Maybe Adam is still alive. Yes.
Maybe there's a man currently, Michael, in America saying that he's Adam and alive. And we look very similar. I've met him. I actually had him come. He sat behind my parents in court on the last day of my trial. No one even knows that.
Again, there is a court order.
Well, you guys should have never pursued that. You told me you were going to talk to me today. This is so sneaky. This is not okay.
All right, Megan. So if you want to meet next week, we can. Or if somebody wants a home study, you can let us know. But I'm getting off here, okay?
I recently had a beautiful baby girl, and 5 days after she was born, they came with SWAT team and orders from this judge and helicopters and everything to remove.
You all have an obligation by law to keep us together, offer services, come in the home, do whatever. But by law, they are supposed to first and foremost, family first. Sunshine law, you guys know this.
I cannot leave here today without your child.
But if this is a fraud report, then that is criminal.
And this is in my state. So, you know, this may be something where I may end up covering. I may end up having to go knock on John Walsh's door or stay outside his pearly gates until he surfaces. I don't know yet. I don't know how I'm going to handle this.
Good evening, Megan. How are you?
Good. How are you, Jonathan?
Looks like you're.
It includes NAMBLA, the North American Man Boy Lovers Association, which actually did put a hit out on my life before I was even a year old, and I was hidden in the Bahamas for about a year from NAMBLA growing up. Now, of course, I question why exactly that hit was put out.
27 years we've been asking, who could take a 6-year-old boy and murder him and decapitate him? Who? We needed to know.
His oddest tool was the abductor and murderer of Adam Walsh.
There was Henry Lee Lucas talking in interviews about, we aren't serial killers, the CIA and whatnot. They hired us and they trained us, to be the ugly, scary faces out in the public and to pin and bury their crimes in ours. We've already got sentences for life. If we confess to things, then we get pardons. We get, there's high incentives, as we know.
Henry Lee Lucas and Otis Toole. Henry Lee Lucas and Otis Toole are one of the two of the most notorious serial killers in American history, quote unquote. And Henry Lee Lucas, they were both very, very vocal. Henry Lee Lucas was on death row for execution in Texas at the time, when Bush was a governor, and he was actually known for not giving any pardons at all, being very, very strict about it. And then suddenly, right before Henry Lee Lucas's execution date, he suddenly pardons one of the most notorious serial killers.
Probably not going to be good friends with John Walsh in the near future, just saying.
When did we realize they're stealing all our babies and we're out of time? And they don't give a damn because they want the dime.